I'm going over calculating probability of events using the AND or the OR rule. So two different rules here. Now, before you start, things you have to remember about probability. First thing, probability is what you want over all different outcomes. That is what your probability is. It could be a fraction, decimal, or percentage as well. And the key thing there is all probabilities add up to 1. So, and that is, we're going to be using that as well a bit with this. So I'm going to show you the OR rule, which is addition first, with an example, and then go through to the AND rule with multiplication. So with the OR part, it's what we got here, probability of A or B. So this is a notation. And that means the probability of event A, so whatever A is, add event B. So they could be two different things that you got going on there. Now, I'll put this into an example to help you. So I play 10 games of FIFA. I win 4, draw 1, and lose 5. Maybe I'm not very good at FIFA. So if we start off here, we can just calculate what the probability of a win, a draw, and a loss is. So probability of a win, 4 over 10, because I play 4, or win 4 out of 10. Draw is 1 over 10, and a loss is 5 over 10. You can simplify these fractions or turn them to decimals if you want. I'm going to just keep them like this for this problem. So now I've got a problem, well, part of it. What's the probability of me winning or losing? So I'm going to go over this with the notation as well. So A, I want to know the probability of winning or losing, like that, using the correct notation. So what that means is probability of a win plus the probability of a loss, okay? And what you do here is you then take your two probabilities. So probability of a win is 4 over 10. Probability of a loss is 5 over 10. And then, because it's OR, that key word is OR in the question, we add them to make that 9 over 10. And that's a probability of winning or losing. Now, next part of that problem is, what's the probability of me not winning? So this is in relation to this rule and something else. So, and also using probabilities add up to 1. So what you have to realize that probability of me not winning, you can look at it in two different ways. If you're not winning, you're either drawing or losing. So you can look at it as probability of draw or loss. You could look at it that way. So you can write it like that, draw or loss. Or the other way you can look at this as probability of not winning, because all probabilities add up to 1, that key information there. You say probability, or what will be is 1 minus probability of a win. And that will give us the same as that above at the top there. So I'm actually going to use that one there. So what I'll do, it's 1 minus probability of a win, which is 4 over 10. And if you do that, 1 minus 4 over 10, it should give you 6 over 10. And that's your probability of not winning. And it's the same if I do draw, add a loss. So 1 over 10, add 5 over 10, which is also 6 over 10. So that's the OR rule, that part. Now let's look at the AND part of this. So this is multiplication. So how it works, AND rule. So the probability of event A and event B equals probability of event A times probability of event B. So that's using the correct notation. So I've put this into an example here. There are red, green and blue counters in a bag. The probability of red is 0.2, probability of green is 0.5 and probability of blue is 0.3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off just by writing down again probability of those different events. So red was 0.2, green 0.5, and blue is 0.3. Now to remember that all probabilities add up to 1, these three values add up to 1 as well. So if we look at the actual problem that we got going on here that we have to solve, what's the probability of picking a red and green counter? So when you're picking them out, you're picking red and a green one. So you're picking two counters there. What you do for this one, so you want probability of picking a red and a green. So we're using our notation. So that what that means is probability of red times probability of green. Okay, so that's what we're doing there. So then that's our problem. So we're doing 0.2 because that's probability of red times 0.5. So you do that and you get a probability of 0.1. You could turn these to fractions to work with or percentages or whatnot, but I'm keeping it as decimals as that's a problem. So and that is our probability of a red and a green counter being picked. Next one, I've made the part B a little bit more technical. What's the probability of picking a blue and a green counter or picking a blue and a red counter? So we're going to use the AND rule, but combine it with the OR rule for this one. So what we're actually looking for is probability of blue and green with or probability of blue and red. See that all that? So I'm going to work out this first part here. So that's AND, so it's multiplication. Probability of blue is 0.3 times probability of green, which is 0.5. So you calculate that, I'll do it underneath. That is 0.15. And then this side, I got probability of blue and red. So blue was 0.3 and red was 0.2. If you multiply them together, I'll do it underneath again, you get 0.06. So you've got two probabilities, but we're asking for, we want a blue and then a green, or a blue and then a red. So we've got that. Because we've got the OR here, we need to add these together now. So we're combining those two rules. So 0.15 plus 0.06, which is 0.21. Again, that could be a fraction, decimal, or percentage. So that is using probability to calculate events using the AND or the OR rule.